You can't be a bartender without tools. And online, there are millions of options of cocktail and bar tools to buy. They're called craft mixology set, cocktail kit, craft bartender set. If you just give me $19.95, I'll send you this and you'll be a craft bartender. They come with beautiful wood holders and all these little extra do's and dads, and they suck. I'm gonna tell you the best cocktail kit you can buy, and it's the one that you make yourself. I'm saying this to you, avoid almost every cocktail kit that you see that has been pre-put together on Amazon. If it comes in a wood holder, literally press X, get out of there. You don't wanna buy it. These are things that are made by people who have never bartended ever. They make something that's aesthetically pleasing, but at best, they're mid-quality, and almost always, they're just not practical or useful. They'll make a jigger with a handle. This doesn't need a handle. I'm going to show you the exact bar tools that you need to buy to make a craft cocktail kit. If you own these tools, you will be able to make virtually every single one of the world's greatest cocktails, and definitely almost every cocktail on the IBA 50. The IBA is the International Bartenders Association, and they have 50 cocktails that they have certified. It may be 100. All I read through was 50. Don't judge me. The cocktail type that you're going to be making more than anything else is called a sour. A sour is shaken and strained. It contains a spirit, citrus, lemon or lime, and sugar, usually in the form of simple syrup. There, again, are millions of variations, but if you want to make a sour, the first thing you're gonna have to get yourself is a Boston shaker. Now, a Boston shaker, if you've seen one, and especially if you've seen one from yesteryear, you'll have this lovely stainless steel tin along with a pint glass that you usually drink beer out of. I'm going to ask you to make a promise. Promise me you will never shake with glass on top of this. Or if you do, you might get one of these lovely souvenirs like I have. You see this right here? This comes from shaking stainless steel and glass together. I worked at a place where the bar was in the kitchen. Kitchens get hot. I made a cocktail. Cocktails are cold. When hot and cold get together and meet glass, glass explodes. So I'm shaking, I'm flirting, I'm talking, I'm shaking, and then I just hear boop, boop, and literally the top of the glass off like a Roman candle, and then I'm looking at my tendons. It was great. I want you to avoid that. And how do we avoid that? We avoid that by getting an all stainless steel Boston shaker. This side, 18 ounces. This side, 28 ounces. Why am I telling you ounces? I'm telling you ounces because if you see one that says 16 ounces over here, do not buy it. The standard size is 1828. There is one brand beyond all others when purchasing shakers, and that is called Corico. We owe so much of what we love about cocktails to Japan. They took that antiquated style with the pint glass and they added this. And it, I think, looks really beautiful. It's not just for the movies. If you have a Boston shaker, you are on your way. When making cocktails, the thing I've learned is that quality is important, but consistency is key. If you can make your daiquiri taste the same from the first to the 30th time, if you're a professional, you are going to very soon have a following of people who come see you simply because of the taste that you put into their glass. At home, your sketchy sister-in-law that's always talking shit, she's not gonna be able to say, these don't taste the same as last time. You know why? Because you're gonna make sure your cocktails are consistent. And the one way to make a cocktail consistent every single time is to measure it. You don't need a measuring cup like you use in the kitchen. You use what we call a jigger. This style jigger is Japanese. Again, thank you to Japan for what you've done for us. There's a conical style that you may have seen in American bars. I don't recommend that because it's very easy for the liquid to bloop, spill out. It is reasonably difficult to mess up using one of these. Now, I have 3 of them in different sizes, and not just because arranging things like this make me happy because I'm weird, but I learned something from Jim Meehan in his Bartender's Manual. So, this is your standard. This is called a 1-2. This is 1 ounce, this is 2 ounces. And for a large amount of the cocktails that I'll teach you, you can make them using just this. On the inside, there's a line that marks 1.5 ounces, and on this side, it's marked quarter, half, 3/4 of an ounce. We have here a 1, 1.5. This has lines on the inside for 1/2 and 3/4 as well. This little guy here is 1/2 ounce, 3/4 of an ounce. And this guy has a line for 1/4 ounce on the inside. Now, why would we want all 3 of these? When you've got 3, I have at my disposal 3 of the most popular measurements, and I don't have to eyeball. So if I just use this, I've got 1/4, got 1/2, got 3/4, got 1 ounce, got 2 ounces, got 1 1/2. Awesome. But for everything but 1 ounce and 2 ounce, I have to eyeball. And that means I have to take my eyes off my guest and make sure I didn't go over. To where if I use my 1 1/2 here, I can get it. See, I gotta eyeball everything because I do shit like that. But if I don't have to eyeball, all I have to do is make sure that bad boy is full and pour right into my shaker. I truly suggest for the professional, for the home enthusiast who's going to be ripping off a whole lot of cocktails, you want to have your set of 3 lovely stainless steel jiggers. So when I'm making a cocktail, pour into my jigger, measure, goes into my Boston shaker. Once it's in my Boston shaker, I'm gonna do what with it? What do you think? We're gonna shake, obviously, but we'll get to that later. After we shake, we're going to put this lovely tool right on top, and this is called a Hawthorne strainer. Who is Hawthorne? If the answer exists, I probably knew it and forgot, or maybe I just don't know. But this is called a Hawthorne strainer, and this is, when matched with these 2 bad boys, right here, your holy trinity of bar tools. This allows you to shake with ice and then pour into a glass while keeping most of the ice out. This is called the gate. If you open the gate, you're gonna get more ice chips. Close the gate, you're gonna get less ice chips. It's been told to me that with these 2 sections here, you can pour into 2 different glasses. I don't recommend it. I've tried in private, it was embarrassing. So again, this keeps the ice from falling into your glass when you pour, but it doesn't keep out little ice chips. Little ice chips will dilute the cocktail over time. That's something that some people don't like. So how am I going to keep all the ice chips out? I'm gonna get what's called a fine mesh strainer. And all of the little ice chips are gonna collect in the bottom here, like so. One more time, let's demonstrate. I pour my spirit into my jigger into my Boston shaker. I grab my Hawthorne strainer, throw it on top. And if I want to keep out every little piece of ice, I use this bad boy and pour. And at the end, I go like that because theoretically it gets the rest of the liquid out, but secret, we just do that shit to look cool. So you've now figured out how to have the tools to make some of the most popular cocktails that exist. The other category of cocktails that you're going to be making is going to be called stirred, boozy, or aromatic. Those are not shaken. We shake because of citrus. So you remember how I told you about the glass that used to come on top of our Boston shaker? That used to be used to stir cocktails. You've ever seen Bond, shaken, not stirred. But we're not using that glass. So what on earth can we do? Well, once again, we have from our beautiful crafts brothers and sisters in Japan, the wonderful craft mixing glass. This beautiful specimen of workmanship is made to stir cocktails instead of shaking them. Same way, we use our jigger, liquid goes in and is poured in here like so. And if we're gonna stir, we have to have a spoon, right? You may have seen the spoons from old school bars. They have a little red tip on them. Those will work, but what you want to get is a Japanese style mixing spoon. These grooves make it very comfortable to hold. They also serve another function, but the spoon is very balanced, makes it very comfortable to hold. You stir your cocktail, and the purpose is to chill it. And there's another type of strainer. This bad boy, this sophisticated looking, beautiful, beautiful copper colored loveliness is called a julep strainer. I'm sure you've heard of a mint julep. This is used to strain stirred cocktails. Do you know why it's used to strain stirred cocktails? For no earthly good doggone reason. I love my American brothers and sisters, but we will create some shit that is unnecessary. Americans are the only bartenders that use this damn thing. Do you know what this was originally for? Back in the day, when our founding fathers were drinking mint juleps, they had nasty teeth. They didn't have good dental work. This was put in glass. This was meant to keep the ice off of teeth. That's all this thing is for. I thought this thing was necessary and I never understood why it never properly fit into that glass. Does it seem like I'm unhinging a little bit? I am. Because one of the biggest things that I need to impress upon you is that with drinks and with anything else in life, if you don't understand the rules, it doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you. There's something wrong with the rule. So many bartenders that I know that are leading today, that are being published in our leading magazines, that win awards every year at Tales of the Cocktail, they would have told you that this was a necessary part of making stirred drinks, and it ain't. I will tell you, Asia, Europe, their cocktail scene has a higher velocity than that of America. When cocktails started being prioritized here in the turn of the millennium, they already were being prioritized across the pond in London. Go to bars in Europe and in Asia and you will not find the julep strainer. If you want to use one, you go ahead. Whatever tickles your pickle, no matter how fickle, I will never ever judge. But if you didn't know what one of those was and you didn't know how to use it, it means you're smart, not that you're foolish. Another tool that I think is essential for sure is the Y peeler, the potato peeler, whatever have you. Shout out to Campari for providing this. I saw how much this bad boy costs you. Y'all don't skimp for your bartenders, do ya? This is going to provide a very important cocktail ingredient, and it's small. Oh, you see that beautifulness? Look at that. Okay, I'm gonna do that one more time just because I'm gonna try not to destroy the place while I do it, but I'm gonna do it one more time. Look at that beauty. I have in my hand now one of the most important cocktail ingredients. This provides that. The oils of citrus affect a cocktail so much, and to quickly and cleanly get the peel off of the citrus, you use a Y peeler. You will find this so useful and so essential because it also can make one of the best ingredients that I've ever had in a cocktail, an oleosaccharum. Next time we hang out, I'm going to teach you all about what an oleosaccharum is and why it should be one of the first ingredients that you learn how to make. So the next time I see you, you better have your Y peeler. Why? Because we love you. All done.